And so that following New Year's Day, like 8 months later, I'm watching the bowl games on TV, and my wife is up, probably nursing a hangover, and so I'm watching the games. And I started thinking, I wonder what the bench press record is for Oregon. And I started searching to see if there was such a thing, And sure enough, I found some federation that had records by age and by weight. So I, of course, go to my age and weight.
And at the time, you were 55. 55. Okay.
And I look at that and I go, I'm not that far off. I bet I could do that. Uh-huh. And so I went to that gym and
What was it? Do you remember?
It was like 325 or something.
Okay.
And which I didn't know that was with gear.
Oh, so that wasn't.
And I didn't even know there was such a thing as gear at that time.
That's a big advantage.
And I was probably pressing 275 or something then,
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so I think I can get to 325. But any rate, I went down to the gym and I talked to a personal trainer there, and a great guy that has been a friend ever since. But so I talked to Dave, and Dave said, yeah, if you want to be a power lifter, you got to squat and deadlift too. I go, really? He goes, yeah, that's the whole deal. You can't just set the bench press. You got to do it all.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's get started. So we got started.
And what's his name? The trainer that worked with you?
Dave Clapp.
Dave Clapp. Okay. Yeah. Give a shout out to him. Yeah.
Dave was great. And he got me going. And it was then that was January. Yeah. So I signed up. I had a real estate project I was doing in Sacramento. And I was going back and forth, and I happened to notice that there was a meet coming up in November of that year. So I signed up for this meet in November in Sacramento. It was on a Saturday, so I had a business trip, and I laid over instead of coming home Friday, I stayed over to compete in this meet. And it's funniest things, I'd never even been to a powerlifting meet, and here I was going to compete in one.
Yeah.
And so I'm in there, and it's a little hole in the wall gym kind of deal. It was an APA meet, as I recall.
And was the age bracket like 55 and over?
Yeah, it's 55 to 59, I think.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And then it goes by 5-year increments, 60 to 64.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So, at any rate, they call my name up for the first squat attempt, and I start walking up there, and this other competitor pulls me back and says, what are you doing? You can't go up there like that. I go, what? And I was wearing like basketball shorts and a t-shirt. He goes, you can't wear that. You got to have a singlet. I go, what? What's a singlet? And so he turns around, digs into his gym bag, pulls out on the bottom of his gym bag this old stinky, stiff from sweat singlet, green singlet.
Put this on.
Oh shit! So I throw that on, and I go out and squat, and I ended up setting all 4 California state records.
Wow!
At the first meet.
Yeah.
Never been to a powerlifting meet.
And then so the next April I was down there again and then broke all those records. And
you squat, bench, dead. You broke all 3 first time.
And total, yeah. And so then I went back in April, broke those records. And so now I got the bug. Now I'm excited. This is something. This is my future athletic career, right?
Yeah.
And came back and naively decided, because there were so few powerlifting meets along the West Coast back then. And I talked to the owner of that little gym and asked if I could put on a meet. And I was going to be a meet director and host a meet.
Yeah.
I talked to the APA, head of APA, and he said, yeah, you can do that. And that I put on this first meet and naively thought I could do it. And I got a call from a guy that signed up for the meet by the name of Chris Duffin. And he says, is it okay if I bring the deadlift bar? I said, yeah, sure, because I don't think this gym has a deadlift bar. So good. So it was that first meet that I met Chris, and we a couple of other guys that have still been around for years since then. They came to that first meet in Lake Oswego, Oregon. And then a few months later, I saw Chris again in a meet in Tri-Cities, in which he dropped 650 pounds on his face and on a bench press.
Wait a minute. On the bench press?
Yeah.
I was about to ask, Chris also has a background in powerlifting, obviously.
Right.
Longer that predates yours, or did he
predated me? Yeah.
Okay. Has he always been that? He's always been a powerlifter?
He started in college, I believe. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and so he started going. He doesn't do it anymore. I mean, he's too beat up.
I saw his elbow.
Yeah, he just had surgery.